The three things I would tell someone who's never cleared rights before. Number one, give yourself enough time. You need to find the right rights owner and give yourself enough time to clear the rights, do the research to find where they are and get the right permissions in place. The second thing you need to do is to budget. And that's not just the rights costs that you might have to pay, but also budget for the rights clearance administration, so actually the process of clearing rights. The third thing I would say is, if you can, find a rights expert, because it is really complicated, some of it, and you'll spend your money wisely if you find someone that can do it really well.
The challenge for me is about having enough content to be able to use in lots of different ways. So it's often about knowing what content is available, easily available, or what content to ask for. Having that wealth of content and it being really accessible and fantastic for a digital environment means that it's kind of opened up a whole range of possibilities in terms of content creation, thinking about how we want to use that content in different ways to tell the stories of conflict and war.
The biggest challenge is, I would say, in terms of rights and IP, are simply finding enough time and finding enough money. You can't start early enough with rights acquisition, and you need to expect a huge amount of variation in the prices people ask for creative material.
You have to just be very careful that you go through with the music, with the performances, with the agreements. Whenever you're filming anyone, you're actually getting permissions for them to be filmed, and they understand very clearly what you're using the content for. So, I mean, those are the biggest challenges with anyone. It's with any productions. I think it's just when you're doing it for online, it's just you've got to move that across and suddenly start thinking about this is the same as if you're doing it for television or for film.
But you also have to think about other things like territory. So in the linear analog space, you often are you're serving into the UK only, whereas in an online space you're potentially global. And you may have issues there where you might rely on something and copyright exception in the UK, but you can't when it goes outside the UK.
If we're looking at music, you've got to remember you've got to clear not just the performance and the artist, you've actually cleared the publishing rights as well. So you have the double whammy with music, so you have to clear clearance. So there's PRS that you can go to as well. And you then have to find where the music is being published and making sure that you've got permission to do so.
Artists and performers are already protected under legislation in terms of their rights and their copyright. And they are also very well represented by their representative union or organisations.
For artists looking to protect their work, obviously the best thing they can do is get some professional representation. You can use somebody else's knowledge to fast forward your own experience. You know, you can make it cover a lot of ground and save time by borrowing someone else's knowledge on the subject.
The interesting thing is that artists and performers and other copyright holders can really decide themselves how far they can permit other users to use their work. And some we find are very restrictive and license very narrowly. Others are very open in terms of what they permit people to do with their works. And we often find that the people who are more open and less restrictive actually generate a kind of viral interest, and actually that can often help them in their careers. So it's an interesting dichotomy of very restrictive versus very open.
I was shopping around for affordable archive material, and so what you hope when you're given a budget and a brief is that you'll be able to fit as many good things into your budget as you can, so you're hoping that things will be cheap.
We have a mantra at the BBC that as the world gets more complicated, the rights have to get simpler. And that's a big mantra of ours, and we've got to try and find simple ways, platform-neutral ways of clearing rights, if possible. We've got to find collective licensing arrangements so that people can have certainty of rights but not go the painstaking process of tracking down people and individually clearing transactional clearances. So that's certainly our mantra, and that's the way I think it's going to change.